We live in a world that never stops talking. Everywhere we go, there's noise. Social media notifications, news headlines, people shouting their opinions. Everyone wants to be heard. But let me ask you something. Who is actually listening? Who is pausing long enough to think, to reflect, to understand? Because the truth is, in all that noise, most people are just reacting. Most people are speaking without thinking, moving without direction, and chasing distractions that lead nowhere. But if you look at the most powerful, the most successful, the most wise individuals in history, they all had something in common. They understood the power of silence. Silence is not weakness. It's not emptiness. Silence is strength. It's the space where thoughts become ideas, where self-awareness is built, where emotions settle, and where wisdom grows. Some of the greatest warriors, the most powerful leaders, and the most creative minds mastered the art of silence. Bruce Lee once said, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. Focus doesn't come from noise. It comes from silence." Albert Einstein was known for his quiet contemplation, allowing his mind to travel beyond limits, unlocking the secrets of the universe. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his time reading and thinking, not talking. Why? Because wisdom comes from absorbing, not just reacting. Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable people get when there's a long pause in a conversation? Or why people constantly distract themselves with music, TV, scrolling endlessly on their phones? It's because silence forces you to face something most people run from: yourself. When you're silent, you start to hear your own thoughts, your insecurities, your doubts, your dreams, your fears. And that's scary for a lot of people, because it's easier to drown it all out with distractions than to face the truth. But let me tell you something. The strongest people, they don't run from silence. They sit with it. They embrace it. They learn from it. Because in silence, you gain control over your emotions, your actions, and ultimately, your destiny. So how do you use silence to your advantage? How do you turn it into your greatest weapon? Here's how. 1. Silence in conversations, the power of listening. The next time you're in a conversation, instead of rushing to speak, try this. Pause, listen, absorb. People will tell you everything you need to know, not just with their words, but with their tone, their body language, and their energy. Most people listen just to respond, but the wise listen to understand. And when you finally do speak, your words will carry weight. 2. Silence in decision-making. The power of thinking before acting. How many times have you made a decision in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? How many times have you reacted with anger instead of patience? Before making any major decision, pause, breathe, reflect, because in that moment of silence, you'll find clarity. You'll stop yourself from making choices that are driven by emotions instead of wisdom. 3. Silence in daily life. The power of reflection. Every day, take time to be silent. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. Reflect on your goals. Think about your purpose. Ask yourself, am I moving forward? Or am I just making noise? Because if you don't control your silence, the world's noise will control you. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone speaks, listen deeply before responding. The next time you're in conflict, pause before reacting. The next time you're alone, sit in silence and find your strength. Because in a world full of noise, the one who masters silence masters life. And remember this: lions don't have to roar to prove they are powerful. The strongest minds don't have to scream to be heard. The wisest leaders don't have to talk the most to change the world. They use silence as their weapon. And so can you. Be silent, be powerful, and let your actions make the noise.